What if I told you that the first museum dedicated to African American history almost never happened? The Museum of African American History and Culture. In 1915, African American veterans of the Union Army met at the 19th Street Baptist Church in Washington, D.C. They were frustrated with the racial discrimination they still faced and formed a committee to build a memorial to various African American achievements. In 1929, President Herbert Hoover appointed Mary Church Terrell, Mary McLeod Bethune, and 10 others to a commission charged with building a national memorial building showcasing African American achievements in the arts and sciences. But Congress didn't back the project, and private fundraising had also failed. For the next 40 years, proposals were floated in Congress, but none gained support. In 1981, Congress finally approved a federal charter for a National Afro-American Museum in Wilberforce, Ohio. The museum, built and funded with private money, opened in 1987. A man named Tom Mack, an African American, founded the National Council of Education and Economical Development to advance his ideas about economic development, education, and the arts in the Black community. He didn't like Congress funding and controlling a museum for Black people, so in 1985, he started using the NCAAD to press for a standalone African American museum in D.C. Mack contacted Representative Mickey Leland about his idea for a national museum focusing on African Americans and wanted support for federal legislation. Leland sponsored a non-binding resolution advocating an African American museum on the National Mall, which passed the House of Representatives in 1986. In 87 and 88, the NCAAD began lining up support among Black members in Congress for legislation that would establish an independent African American National History Museum in D.C., but ran into opposition from the African American Museum Association, an umbrella group that represented small local African American art, cultural, and history museums across the United States. John Kennard, president of the AAMA, opposed to the NCAAD's effort. He argued that a national museum would consume donor dollars and outbid local museums for artifacts and trained staff. Instead, he advocated that Congress establish a $50 million fund to create a national foundation to support local Black history museums. Representative John Lewis and Representative Leland introduced legislation for a standalone African American History Museum within the Smithsonian Institution, but the bill faced significant opposition in Congress due to its cost. They introduced another bill in '89, but cost would kill it also. In 1990, the Smithsonian formed an advisory board and in '91 issued a report voting unanimously in favor of a national museum. But the proposal wasn't for a standalone institution. It was for a museum housed in the East Hall of the existing Arts and Industries building. You know Tom Mack didn't like that bill. And despite winning approval in both House and Senate committees, the bill died again anyway. This will go on until 2003, when it finally got authorization. A site was finally selected in 2006 in D.C., a design was chosen in 2009, and construction finally began in 2012. It was completed in 2016, costing more than $250 million. It holds more than 40,000 artifacts. Did you know the history of the African American Museum of History? Y'all like this video? Share this and leave me a comment and tell me what you think. And follow me for more content.